In this episode of Inward Journey, I include a segment from the chapter 5 of an ebook that I wrote called Recalibrating Destiny, which is a behind the lyrics written discourse of Kekal's 2022 album Emphasage. That chapter explains about collective ascension. The ebook is a PDF document with 10 chapters and 124 pages in total. It can be downloaded for free if you are interested. You can access it from www.kekal.org/recalibrating-destiny. Time flies, the speeding up of our perception of time. Many of us feel that in recent years, time has been running faster and faster. There was so much that we could do in the last, let's say, 20 years, we could no longer do it in the same time frame right now. We often say time flies. That expression is no longer limited to the casual expression of being busy, but it is based on what we actually perceive. Our perception of time has changed, and in recent years, it has become very noticeable, up to the point of being spooked by it. People came up with theories like, as we grow old or age, we become more used in spending time, so it feels quicker, or we have become too busy that we would perceive it differently. But in reality, many of the younger generation can also notice the differences just by comparing to only a few years back. They could feel the speeding up of time, even they do less amount of activities right now than they used to. The basic explanation to this phenomenon on how time seems to be speeding up is much to do with the ascension process. Remember, ascension means the frequency of the energetic vibrations of the universe is rising or going up. Time is just a construct. It is part of the perceptual illusion along with what we know as space. Both time and space are a single property within the matrix, and it is called space-time. It is built by a process known as quantum entanglement. Within the quantum field, everything is always interconnected. So when the energetic waveform of this entire universe is moving into the higher vibrational frequency, then any other property within that matrix will also affect it. The best operational analogy is on how an analog turntable machine works. Let's say we put a vinyl LP that normally plays at 33 RPM, rotation per minute. Upon playing it, we would hear the normal sound of the music with the song that runs at 5 minutes. But if we switch to 45 RPM and play the same LP with the same song, the entire pitch of the music becomes higher and its running time becomes shorter. Now only less than 4 minutes. Of course, this is a natural process of how we also perceive our reality. As we are ascending, meaning moving into the higher frequency, just like moving up the pitch of the music, time is automatically compressing, so we would perceive it as becoming shorter and shorter. Even though our body's biological clock will adapt to the compressing of time, and so our entire perception of reality within the matrix, including perception of the moving clock, we still carry certain memory of what we have experienced in the past. These data in our memory bank have retained all of our original perceptual snapshots when the reality was still vibrating at the lower frequency. Our mind would be able to make back-to-back comparison between the data accessed from the memory bank and what is currently being perceived. And as the result, we are able to feel the difference that time is speeding up. As our perception of time is speeding up because of the increasing of universal frequency during the process of ascension, we can focus on why we are in that process right now. At the spiritual level, we must realize that everything is energy. Matter is made of energy. That's a scientific fact. When we talk about energy, we talk about waveform instead of particles. And we talk about vibration and frequency instead of atoms and molecules. Waveform of energy carries information or data, and we live within the cosmic sea of information called the quantum field. Space is information, and so is time. These are all information-based constructs. Think the cosmos as the giant quantum computer mainframe that operates holographic projections into countless of simulations in unison. And our world is one of those countless simulations. Now, each one of such simulations is akin to a virtual reality game, a construct shared by the conscious characters within it, quote unquote. As explained previously in the episode 2 of Inward Journey, we all hallucinate our so-called reality because this kind of reality is only a holographic image. Just like in most computer simulation games we create, once a character has already learned and mastered one stage of the game by experiencing all the lessons and finish its missions, it then goes to another stage above it with a complete different scenario. Same thing happened to our world. Souls need to learn variety of lessons in life through these simulations, both individually as well as collectively. That being said, one soul would take a physical body as a character in order to experience a tangibility of forms inside the limitations of space and linear time. Perception of the linear time is required in the simulation so that each character is able to choose from the series of choices in life, according to the law of free will and the law of cause and effect. There are stages where lessons can be learned through scenarios from the very basic to advanced. As a collective, there is a certain range of time or era where souls are expected to be matured enough in order to go to the next level or next stage within the simulation. The maturity level of the collective is measured by the frequency of its vibration as a whole. This is where dimensions work. One dimension represents one stage or level in the simulation where the collective attuned to its frequency range of the vibrations. Each level has its own range of frequency, and the movement between one dimension to the one above it is called an ascension. As a collective, we are currently in the process of ascension as we speak, moving from one dimension to another. This is Jeff, podcasting for Kekal. Please like, subscribe, and watch the earlier episodes of Inward Journey. Thank you.